Welcome to Comicstorian Rebirth, where we bring you all the extra stuff from the Comicstorian channel. I'm Dan, and today's webtoon is Omniscient Reader, Episode 1 and 2, originally published as a web novel by Sing and Song, adapted by Umi and Redeye Studios, and art by Sleepy C. You can read this for free on webtoons.com or on the Webtoons app. Now let's jump on in. There are 3 ways to survive the apocalypse. Everything is fading and becoming unclear now. But one thing is certain. If you're reading this, you will survive. The end. 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, Final Episode, by TLS123. Huh? The man says to himself as he looks at the notification on his screen reading, "This is the last episode." Really? Is that it? He says in disbelief as he tries to swipe up to the next episode as the train rattles around him. I'm Dokkaebi Kim, age 28, graduated from a third-rate college, and currently employed as a contractor at a subsidiary of a large corporation. Dokkae in Korean can mean only child, reader, or individualist. My father gave me that name because he wanted me to grow up to be a strong and independent person. But perhaps my name is a curse, because I've been lonely and single my entire life. I have a hobby, reading serialized web novels on the subway ride home from work. But today's ride, it was unlike any other. Oh my, at this rate, you'll get sucked into your phone, a voice says, snapping Dokkae back to reality. He looks up to see his co-worker from HR, Sanga Yu. Hello, Dokkae says nervously. Are you heading home? Sanga asks. Yeah, you too? Dokkae replies. Sanga sits down next to Dokkae as she makes some small talk, and Dokkae can't believe that he ran into the most popular girl from work. And wow, her shampoo smells really nice. Dokkae asks if she always takes the subway home, and Sanga replies, "No, I actually ride a bike to work lately since I've been working a lot of overtime, and I thought I could use the exercise, and for some other reasons. But, someone actually stole my bicycle." Dokkae thinks to himself how seeing her up close and talking to her, he can see why all the guys are head over heels for her. But none of that really matters. We live completely different lives. And just so you know, Sanga wasn't the reason today's subway ride was different. Puede prestarme dinero? Sanga says randomly. Pardon? Dokkae replies, questioning the foreign language. It's Spanish. It means, please lend me some money. Dokkae thinks to himself how Sanga really is a different breed altogether, studying a foreign language on her way home from work. But where would she even use that phrase? You're studying hard, Dokkae says. What about you, Dokkae? What are you reading? Embarrassed, Dokkae quickly pulls away his phone, chuckling nervously. Oh, I'm just reading, is it a novel? Sanga asks, cutting him off. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm studying Korean. He says awkwardly. Sanga lights up at this. Wow, I love novels! And proceeds to list off her favorite authors and asks Dokkae who his favorite is. Oh, you probably wouldn't even know if I told you, Dokkae replies, trying to hide his screen from Sanga to prevent her from seeing what he is really reading. Dokkae starts getting lost in his thoughts once more. I'm not particularly proud of my hobby, but the reason today is unlike any other is because 3 Ways to Survive the Apocalypse, or TUSA for short, which I've been reading for the past 10 years, is ending today. People wonder why I'm making such a fuss over the end of a web novel, but this story, it's very special to me. I read this when I was being bullied at school, when I failed my entrance exams, when I was stationed on the front line during my mandatory military service, and even now, as an unstable contract worker constantly moving from company to company. It's bittersweet that the fictitious world that I've been following for so many years is now coming to an end. And today is the day that the epilogue of TUSA will be uploaded. The series consisted of 3,149 episodes, a 10-year journey that was seemingly written for just me, as most readers fell off the series by episode 50. I wanted to support the author with a donation, but I was already struggling to make ends meet. So, I just thanked the author by writing a comment. Sir, thank you for everything. I'll be looking forward to the epilogue. Dokya, Sanga says, trying to get Dokya's attention, as Dokya was so lost in thought that he completely forgot she was even there. The two talk about their time working together, and Dokya mentions that their contracts are gonna end soon, but then remembers Sanga was promoted to a full-time employee last month. Oh, that's right, you were promoted! Sorry for the late congratulations, Dokya says, joking that he probably should have learned a foreign language too. I don't want to admit it, but Sanga is so cool. If we were characters in a novel, she would definitely be the heroine. Sanga gives it her all, but I don't really even try. I just read web novels while she studied, so it was obvious that she would be promoted, and I wouldn't. Sanga offers to tell him the name of the app which she is using to learn a new language. But he tells her, it's okay. It wouldn't matter if you told me or not. I have my own life to live. Sometimes I wonder, if I was in a different genre and my life wasn't nonfiction, but fantasy, could I have been the protagonist? I don't know. But one thing is certain, that my life's genre is nonfiction, and I'm no protagonist. I'm merely a reader. With determination on her face, Sanga stands up saying, "You're so inspiring, Dokya. I should also live my own life, and strive to live my life to the fullest, just like you." She then sits back down, and Dokya thinks, well, at least that got her to stop talking. As he thinks this, his phone vibrates with a new message from TLS123, simply saying, "Thank you." TLS123? Wait, is this the author of Tusa? Dokya thinks as he stares at his screen. He responds asking if this is the author of Tusa, and the writer replies, "Thanks to you, I was able to finish my story. I also won a prize in a contest." Oh my god, it really is him, Dokya thinks to himself as he starts to fangirl a little and replies, "Congratulations, but what kind of contest?" The author replies saying that it wasn't a big contest, so he probably wouldn't have heard of it. He then goes on to mention that starting today with the epilogue, Tusa will become paid content. But as a token of my gratitude, I would like to send you a special present. Could you tell me your email address? Little did he know what was about to happen to this world. A present? It'd be great if it was a $50 gift card, Dokya thinks to himself as he receives a new message. The email reads, "Mr. Dokya Kim, starting at 7 p.m. today, Tusa will become paid content. This will help you. I wish you all the best." And Dokya realizes that it's 6:55. There's only 5 minutes left. Dokya goes back into his app to check the web novel to discover that it's already been removed? Do they remove serials without notice when they become paid content? Dokya thinks. And then the lights on the train shut off. What's going on? Sanga says nervously. It's then that the train begins to screech as it goes out of control, and everyone begins screaming in fear. What's happening? Is it a terrorist attack? People say in a panic as they fear for their lives. As the train screeches to a halt, Dokya asks Sanga if she is okay. Yeah, what do you think is happening, Dokya? Don't worry, it's probably nothing, Dokya says, trying to calm her down. And that is when it happens. The clock strikes 7, and Dokya thinks to himself, it's 7 p.m., so the paid content. A panicked voice comes over the intercom.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Please evacuate. Evacuate now!
What's going on, Dokya? Sanga asks in disbelief of everything that is happening around them. And then, at the front of the train car, a red lightning flash appears, crackling with energy, and an ominous voice starts speaking.
The free service of the 8,612th planetary system has come to an end. The main scenario will begin now.
And it was at that moment that the genre of my life changed. The subway came to a halt, and the entire cabin grew dark. I don't know why that sentence popped into my mind, but the opening lines of a very familiar story kept crossing my mind. As everyone stares in shock, someone shouts, "That's a dokkaebi!" "A dokkaebi?" Sanga asks nervously. Realistically speaking, it's impossible. But then Dokia thinks about the start of Tusa. A downy creature wearing a straw garment was floating mid-air. It was too peculiar to be called a fairy, too malicious to be called an angel, and too innocent-looking to be called a devil. And so, the entire train car is mesmerized by the energy sparking in front of them. And finally, it dawns on him. No way, this is... And he thinks back to the story. And so, we called it a dokkaebi. Dokia stares, questioning his sanity, as at that moment, fiction and reality overlapped. The creature tries to say. Everyone starts questioning what was going on. "What's that thing saying?" one person asks. "Is this augmented reality or something?" someone else says, not convinced that this is real. But no one else knew what was going on but me. This was the dokkaebi that appeared in the opening paragraph of Tusa. This creature heralded the tragedy that lasted through thousands of chapters of 3 ways to survive the apocalypse. And now, that very same dokkaebi was right in front of me. I think it's speaking Spanish. Should I try talking to it? Sanga asks, unsure of what to do in the situation. "You don't know what that thing is. Are you gonna ask it to lend you some money?" Dokia replies. But the dokkaebi begins speaking once more.
Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me? Gosh, that language patch was malfunctioning there for a bit. Can everyone hear me now?
"What the hell do you think you're doing? I have an audition to go to," one of the men on the train says to the dokkaebi.
An audition at this hour, huh? Ha! Guess I should have done more research. They told me that I would have the most customers if I put the paywall up around 7 p.m. Okay, everyone, please calm down, take a seat, and listen, because I have something very important to tell you all," the dokkaebi announces. The crowd becomes disgruntled and frustrated and starts complaining how they can't do this. "Just start the train already. Stop wasting my time." But as the crowd gets angrier and shouts more, Dokia thinks to himself, "I'm certain I know exactly how this story goes. I have to stop them. But how?" "Sanga, don't move," Dokia says quietly. The dokkaebi floats higher and says, "It sure is noisy here, isn't it?"
And then the creature shows its true colors.
"I told you to be quiet!"
It shouts as it starts popping the heads of everyone that was annoying it. And everyone panics as they watch the horrific display of power.
"We're not filming a movie. This isn't a dream or a novel. And it certainly isn't the reality you all know. Do you understand?"
It says menacingly. I hate to admit it, but as I saw the floor become painted with blood, I knew it was real, and my doubt and disbelief faded away, Dokia thinks to himself. And the dokkaebi continues speaking to the passengers, telling them that they had quite the cushy life until now,
being able to breathe, eat, excrete, and reproduce without paying the costs. Ha! You've all been enjoying privileged lives. But that's all over now. Nothing is free in life, isn't that right?
It says with an evil grin on his face. One man stands up to the dokkaebi, asking if it's money that they want, because he'll give them as much as they want. The man holds out a bunch of cash, but the dokkaebi is not impressed. And with a snap of its fingers, the man's money bursts into flames.
Money is good. It's an object that signifies an agreement between humans. But only when it's in your space-time. That paper has no value in the macroscopic dimension. This is a warning. If you ever pull a stunt like this again, I'll blow your head off. Ha! But there's no time for chit-chat. Your debt's piling up as we speak. I won't bother explaining it. It'll just be faster for you to try and learn it yourselves.
The dokkaebi says, and its horns burst out, growing longer, and it flies around the train. The mysterious announcement voice speaks once again.
Channel number B1-7623 has opened. The constellations are now making an entrance.
It is then that a screen pops up in front of all the passengers, surprising them with an image of an envelope and a message saying, "The main scenario has arrived. Main scenario number 1. Prove your value. Objective: kill one or more living organisms. Category: main. Difficulty: F. Time limit: 30 minutes. Reward: 300 coins. Penalty for failure: death." And in a tone of pure evil, the dokkaebi says to all the passengers,
Well, good luck, everyone. I expect to see an interesting story.
and in another flash of white light, the dokkaebi disappears, and the passengers begin the first main scenario. And that was episode 1 and 2 of the Omniscient Reader webtoon. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I have a lot more planned for this channel, such as I'm the Max Level Newbie and Advanced Player of Tutorial Tower, to name a few. But if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. And of course, this is a new channel, so all likes, subscribes, shares, and comments help a ton. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.